Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Other Side of Sports. My name is Robert Jerez Jr. I'm here in Atlanta. It's a nice rainy day outside, but rain's nice. It's not too bad. But last night, here to talk about the draft lottery. So the draft lottery in the Atlanta Hawks, where we sit, we got the third pick overall. Very nice, very exciting times. It's always nice to have just some sort of unknown factor for what's going to happen in the future, and anything's possible. We could even trade the pick if we wanted to for somebody, so who knows. But as it sits, we have the third pick overall. We started the night with the fourth best percentage for the first pick. We end up with the third pick. Fantastic. We moved up a spot by not even doing anything. It's pretty cool. So basically what's being run down to, that's what I'm trying to focus on today. Of course, you can see I have my ATL True Believer shirt on, brought to you by Kumo Tire. But they have no affiliation with me at all. I just wanted to throw that one out there. So basically what it is the Atlanta Hawks have the third pick overall. Starts off with the Suns at the top. Going right, saying they're going to be Ayton or Doncic, which is cool. All right. Fantastic. Second one down is Kings. They're saying, well, hey, they're just going to pick the other one that they don't pick. So, all right, cool. That's fine. Down to 3. Here we go. Atlanta Hawks. Who's left on the board? We got a couple of guys. Marvin Bagley III, Mo Bamba, Jaren Jackson, Trae Young, Colin Sexton. But when it comes down to me and what I think can be the most productive piece for our team, break it down for 3 options. Now, granted, if Luka or Ayton somehow manage to fall to 3, we take those guys. We take one of the two. However, if not, these are my picks who I like, who I think is positive for the Atlanta Hawks moving forward. Now, granted, we had the 4th worst record in the league last year, which not necessarily is a bad thing, considering this is kind of what we were trying to do in the first place, which is not tank, who knows. But anyways, what we got is, this is who I think. My 3 players who I would choose from, if Ayton and Doncic are not available: Marvin Bagley III, Mohamed Bamba, Trae Young. Trae Young's a pick I'll talk about in a minute. My main 2 focuses are Marvin Bagley or Mohamed Bamba. Those are the only 2 people I truthfully really want at the third spot. Bamba, that might be too high for him. But, if you're going to draft someone 5th or 6th, drafting that same person 3rd isn't necessarily a stretch. I mean, depending on what you want as a team. And what we want as a team is for somebody to come in who can complement the roster that we have already built. Now, granted, Schroeder wants out, but he might not want out. He just wants to play for a contender. He just wants to be in the playoffs. So, you know what? Maybe this pick can help us get to the playoffs and we keep Schroeder and we don't really need a point guard. Maybe we trade away Schroeder for a veteran point guard and some picks and we need something else. Either way, we don't know what's going to happen. But the truth is, as it's constructed now, we got Schroeder, Bazemore, Prince, Collins, Dedmon, Miles Plumlee. All right. So, needless to say, we need a center. We need a big-time center. Nothing against Dedmon. Nothing, he's perfect for what we brought him in for. But when it comes down to it, you look at Atlanta United. Young guys, number one in the MLS, number 1 in goal differential. Got the leading scorer, Josef Martinez. He's young too. You got the Braves, Ozzy Albies. You got Ronald Acuna Jr., super young. Even Freeman's not that old, to be honest. And they're number 1 in the NL East. One of the best teams in the National League. And one of the best overall offensive teams in the MLB, so that's exciting. You got the Falcons, super exciting. We just added another young piece to go along with our offense, very flashy and another exciting piece. So we need more young guys, and the Hawks, it's nice to see that we're in a position to grab another young guy so that all the Atlanta fans can gather around and watch these young guys over the next 5-6 years develop and be the teams that we pull for and that we root for. So this is a good position for the Hawks to get in. So my basically So basically what it is, we got Torian Prince, wonderful player, improved tremendously this year. Definitely helped that he got a lot more opportunities this year. But man, he really turned it on and got it going. John Collins, I love what I see from him, man. Alley-oop, star. He's just a gifted athlete. I mean, you could just see why we drafted him and why the Hawks were so high on him. As far as his offensive production goes, John Collins, to me, I just don't ever see him as a three-point shooter or, stretching the floor much. So that kind of comes down to what are we going to do with this pick and what do we want. Obviously, we need another big man, so we can get Mohamed Bamba. That's the defensive presence that you could ask for. Or you can get Marvin Bagley, a little bit more offensive-oriented guy with just as much talent, as anyone else in the draft as far as all-around talent goes. Might not be great at anything, but he's very good in a lot of things. So Marvin Bagley third would be my number one pick if we had him at third. I think it's a great pick. You can see his skills highlighted by his Florida State production with 32 points and 21 rebounds. He had 21 points a game, 29 blocks total throughout the year, not a high number, averaging 1 block a game, but averaging over 11 rebounds a game, which is nice because that's something I personally cherish a lot, is rebounding, and mainly offensive rebounds. Can you grab the ball on a missed shot, pass it back out for us to get a second chance opportunities? That, to me, is gold. So that's why I think either Bagley or Bamba really help us out, because both of them are rebounders, very good rebounders anyways. So, but with Bagley, what you get is a little bit more of a shooting presence. He shot 39.7% from three-point range. Only shot 58 three-point shots for the whole year. In comparison, Trae Young shot 328. So clearly, not necessarily stretching the floor, sitting out on the wing, but you're gonna have to come out and defend him, because if he's at the top of the key, he can make the shot. And Marvin Bagley III has a big offensive repertoire, truthfully. He has a lot of post moves, and he can shoot the ball, a lot like DeAndre Ayton. Ayton can do the same thing. He has a lot of moves, which is why everyone is so high on Ayton, and his just physical gift, his giftedness for his talents. But Bagley III, a couple highlights here. He had 7 games of over 30 points. He had 22 double-doubles throughout the year, and he had only 1 game where he scored under 10 points, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he got hurt in that game. But if we don't want to go with Marvin Bagley III, we're thinking maybe we would like our next generation of Mutombo, which is a lot of what people are saying about Mo Bamba, and rightfully so. I mean, the Mo Bamba was super impressive. I mean, 6'11", his wingspan is over 7 feet tall. We'll know more when the combine comes and actually measure all these people here in a week or two. But mainly, what it is, the thing that you get with Bamba that you don't get with any other player in this draft is the physical presence of a dominant threat when you come into the paint. And that's just one thing that Bamba will bring, and no one else brings it. Nobody else in this draft brings it like Bamba. He had 111 blocks last year. He missed a couple of games because he was hurt, and 2 games he was nursing back from being hurt, and he didn't really play the full game. To put that in perspective, he had 111 blocks last year. Bagley had 29. DeAndre Ayton had 66. They played more games than Bamba did. And Bamba was hurt for some of the games that he did play. And it's just he is the physical presence. I love the idea of, you want to come in, get that out of here. I like that. And that's one thing that we don't have. The Atlanta Hawks do not have that, and they haven't had that in a long time, because even with Horford, he wasn't blocking shots, and he really wasn't. He was getting out-rebounded most nights. But his offensive game was so much better than his defensive game that, it evened out for us. And we ended up, with one of the best records one year. I mean, so it could go either way. That's why I like Bamba, and I like Bagley the third. I'm not really high on anyone else as far as the third pick goes, but, everyone else, they're still good. They can go to any other team that they would like to. That anyone that drafts them. We got 2 more picks. Maybe we package 2 picks or something. And we move up and we grab another guy that we like. Maybe like we pull it up into the top 10 again and get Colin Sexton or something. That could be a thing. But if not, so as it sits, we're sitting at third. Those are my 2 guys. The only other guy that I wouldn't be mad about, but I'm not gonna be lobbying for, and that is Trae Young. Trae Young, he's 6'2". He's smaller. He's got a defensive liability. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone says that. It's the truth, though. But the main thing that Trae Young can bring to you that no one else can bring you is his shooting ability. He's one of the best shooters in the draft, if not the best shooter all around. And for me personally, I think it would be perfect for Trae Young to go to an organization where he can come off the bench, be that 6th man, getting a lot of bench points, going against people's second units, getting the feel for the NBA game as he improves his game defensively and otherwise so that he can, eventually become a starter in this league. And with that, that's pretty intriguing, and that's something I wouldn't be mad about if we went there with him, mainly because he had 27.4 points a game. He shot 36% from threes, but his main thing is this. He only had 7 games last year where he scored under 20 points. He had 4 games of scoring over 40. I don't care how many shots you have to take. A lot of people can take 30 shots and not get 40 points. And he also had 9 games where he scored over 30. Highly impressive. Definitely the skill set is there. And if he doesn't have to try to do everything, like if he's coming off the bench, now, granted, people go, 3rd pick overall, you don't want to get a guy who's going to come off the bench. Well, you do if he's going to be a starter in 2 years and he's going to be, one of the best shooters in the NBA. And a couple of years after that, you might want to take the guy so you don't look back and say, oh, man, well, how could all these teams have passed up on this guy? Like Steph Curry, number 7 overall. People look, oh, man, how could some of these teams take, they missed out on all these players. Trae Young could be one of those guys. But he could also be the guy that never quite turns the corner and gets to that next level, and he's just a solid player. So those are kind of my guys right there. I personally, I'll take Bagley at 3rd. If we don't go there, Bamba. Either way, you can't really go wrong because you get greatness from one area or another. Bagley gives you the offensive production. Bamba gives you the defensive production. You think with Lloyd Pierce coming in, being able to teach. One of his highlights is being a good teacher. So even if we got Ayton, it's just anybody who we bring in as far as the big men go. Maybe with Pierce, this might be the perfect pick for the perfect coach at the perfect time for the Atlanta Hawks to get this thing going. So, like I mentioned earlier, we got all these other teams in Atlanta looking good. It'd be nice to get the Hawks on board too, because Hawks games are fun and basketball is a great sport, and it would be nice to see the Atlanta Hawks in contention here in a couple years. And this pick has a lot to do with the direction of where we go. So, like I said, my name is Robert Jerez. I'm based here in Atlanta. I love the Atlanta teams, Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Braves, Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta United, of course, and my college team's Georgia Southern. I'm going to have multiple more of these coming up. These are my podcasts, The Other Side of Sports. I have a blog. I'll put it in the comments. Either way, leave me some comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Some of you know me, some of you don't. But if not, I look forward to putting more of these out. And what I'd like to eventually accomplish is to get pretty much like a forum going of basically a conversation going with everyone that watches the video. So if you want to watch the video and you want to post, a video, like a selfie video down in the comments so we can keep the conversation going, I'm all about that because that would be cool. I got big plans for what I want to see this go. I'm gonna have more graphics and stats all in this area. We're gonna be cutting in. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. So like I said, it's my first one. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening, and yeah, I'll see you next time.